I'm Emily Mashak, and you are listening to Town Square Media's Tuned Into NoCo, the show that lets you know what matters in NoCo. I'm sitting down today with Paul Donnelly, the Communications Director at the Food Bank for Larimer County, to talk about the great plates of downtown. So thank you for coming in again, Paul.
Thanks for having me, Emily.
Yeah, it's great to have you back. For those of you who don't know, he has been working with us so much, especially with our Town Square Cares Feeding NoCo promotion over the holidays. So it is great to have you back. But before we get to great plates, I just want to talk about the Food Bank for Larimer County for those who maybe aren't familiar or weren't with us back in November. Could you just talk a little bit about what you do?
Absolutely. Well, the Food Bank for Larimer County is one of 5 Feeding America food banks throughout Colorado, and essentially our name says it all. We are a food bank. We provide food to those in need, and we do so in Larimer County. So the long and the short of it is, if you need food, definitely consider coming to the food bank and seeing if we can help you out.
Definitely. How are things going with the food bank right now?
Well, it's one of those things. You mentioned Town Square Cares, what we did back with you all back in November. The holidays are a really busy time for us. We're fortunate that a lot of people want to give and contribute during that time. So it seems like we come off the holidays and then we turn right around into what we consider spring. It doesn't necessarily feel like spring in Colorado, but for us, spring goes into just a little bit of a few different events. We just had one of our signature events last week, which is called Empty Bowls, and it's a great partnership with the Poudre School District, local artists, that sort of thing. So 600 or 700 of our closest friends came out for that, and that was a really good fundraiser. And to your point, why I'm here today is to talk about one of our other great community events, which is Great Plates.
Yes, let's get into Great Plates. For those who don't know, what is it?
Yeah, Great Plates is exactly, again, as the name implies, it is great, and it's really a fantastic community involvement piece for us because obviously it's an opportunity for people to go out and support the food bank, but it's also a great way through our partnership with the Downtown Business Association to highlight the great restaurants, the great things to do in Old Town, in downtown Fort Collins. And so this year, we're celebrating our 15th year. And what we're doing is we've got about, I think it's 43 restaurants, brew pubs, and desserteries who are all participating. And when we say participating, what they're doing is they're offering specials. Most of the restaurants are offering dinner specials, so these are specials that are available after 5 o'clock. But there are some desserteries and some other, more of a convenience fast food sort of establishments that are doing all-day specials. But what happens is you go in, you tell your server that you want to participate in Great Plates. You pick out what you'd like, what specials you want to participate in, enjoy a great meal, great opportunity to try different food, and then at the end of your meal, you have an opportunity to support the food bank. It's really just that simple.
Okay, so you just let them know you're doing Great Plates, and
Absolutely.
then there will be that option at the end.
Absolutely. The hardest thing is deciding which restaurant to go to.
Right.
Because there are really, really great restaurants, and I think that what's so kind of a win-win for everybody is there's so many restaurants here that people may not go to on a regular basis, but with these dinner specials that the different restaurants are having, it gives you an opportunity to go try something you might not normally try.
Definitely.
And so you get in there, you get to enjoy great food. For restaurants, it's a really busy 2 weeks. I guess we should go ahead and take one step back and talk about when all Great Plates begins, because Great Plates is always the first 2 weeks in March, so March 1st through the 14th. So it is a busy time for all the restaurants. They're just coming off of their Valentine's Day weekend, which is crazy busy for the restaurants. So people get to go in, have a great meal, and have an opportunity to support the food bank.
That is awesome. Are these special meals different prices, or are they the same price the restaurant would usually have them at?
Generally speaking, for most of the restaurants, they're going to be $25 specials. And depending on the restaurant, that may be a 4 or 5 course meal for one person, or it may be something that they have 2 or 3 courses. So maybe an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert for 2 people. Other restaurants feature more of a combination of maybe a certain wine, certain alcoholic beverage with the meal itself. So it really depends. The best thing to do, we do have, certainly you can get all the information at the website, which is going to be downtownfortcollins.com/event/Great Plates of Downtown. And I know that that's a mouthful, so maybe the easiest thing to do is just go to the Food Bank for Larimer County's website. So that's foodbanklarimer.org. Right on our homepage, we've got a link to the menus and all the great things you can do is participating with Great Plates.
Awesome. Now, you said there's over 40 restaurants involved, so you don't have to pick favorites. And obviously we can't go through all of them, but would you be able to tell me a little bit about some of the ones that we're going to see in the next few weeks?
Well, I was like, there are so many restaurants that have literally, so we're celebrating the 15th year, and for many restaurants, they have been with us from the beginning, and which is great because it did start out as a relatively small event, and it has kind of grown to what it is today. And I should say that, with a lot of support of the restaurants and all of their staff, plus the Downtown Business Association, we raised more than $111,000 last year.
Wow.
So that was a record year for us, and so we're certainly hoping to do more of that this year. So with that in mind, we have the regulars with the folks that have been with us all along. These are folks like Austin's. Illegal Pete's, Fish. Fish is a huge supporter of the food bank. They do multiple events with us every year. So I can't really pick one menu item, but I'll just kind of throw out a couple here. Jay's Bistro has a 2-course dinner plus a wine pairing. So that's an example of, not just coming in for dinner, but kind of having a chef's selection to go with your food and beverage. Something like Comet Chicken, again, a big supporter of the food bank. Theirs is a much different offer. So they've got a $2.50 original chicken sandwich offer. So you can see things really differ depending on the establishment, but there's literally something for everyone for Great Plates this year.
Oh, yeah. And whether you want a fancy dinner or just a chicken sandwich, you can help out either way.
Exactly.
That is awesome. Now, congratulations on this being the 15th year of Great Plates. Yeah. That is awesome to hear. How have you seen it impact the food bank over the years?
Well, that's a great question. Probably the easiest way to put it in terms your listeners might understand is that so we just closed out our calendar year, and like most organizations, we're kind of taking a look back and seeing where we had some success, where we can have some opportunities for improvement. But we just we're literally a few pounds shy of distributing 10 million pounds of food this year. So if you think just in terms of volume, what that looks like from a 10 million pound point of view, and what I always tell people is that doesn't happen quickly. It doesn't happen easily, and it certainly doesn't happen for free. So although a lot of what we receive are donations, whether we're talking food, working with our food partners, grocery partners, community partners, you name it still costs money. And the way that we're able to do a lot of this is through fundraising events such as Great Plates. So that's probably the easiest way I can put it in the people, that all of these things that we do, and we always talk in terms of pounds distributed or the number of meals served. So we produce something on average of about 195,000 senior meals and children's meals every year. That's a lot of work and effort and time that goes into that, and that is only made possible by the support of the community, and this is a great example of what that support looks like.
Definitely, and I'm sure all of those people who go to the food bank appreciate it greatly.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Can you tell me some of the stories of people who have come by the food bank and how it's affected them?
Well, we had a great opportunity during Town Square Cares for your team to come by, and
we did. That was awesome.
Right. It's there are so many stories, and we talk to our clients all the time. I just had an opportunity to talk to a gentleman at our pantry that we have a partnership with UC Health last week. His name was Anthony, and Anthony lives up in the foothills, and he has had, I believe, 6 heart surgeries.
Oh, wow.
And so what Anthony was sharing with me, and he was not, literally spent an hour with Anthony, a fantastic guy, and he was not upset about it or whatever. It was just point of fact. I have had 6 heart surgeries, and that takes a toll on a budget, right? And so he's limited what he can do from a working point of view. Certainly financially, that has an impact on him. And that's just one example of somebody that's sort of going along in life, a diagnosis, a change in work status, you name it, changes kind of that path that you're on. So Anthony's just a great example of some of the folks that come into the food bank. It is literally a cross-section of the community, whether you're students, families, individuals, single parents, seniors, you name it. Our clients really represent Larimer County.
That's awesome. If people want to continue helping the food bank once Great Plates is over, how can they do that?
Best thing to do is to visit our website at foodbanklarimer.org. Help comes in many forms, right? So we certainly welcome volunteers. We have a volunteer section of our website where people can go and get an idea of all the different things that we have there from a volunteer opportunity. We do group volunteering, we do corporate volunteering, and we do individuals, regular weekly volunteers. If you just have a couple of hours one day a week and you want to just drop in, we have a flexible shift for that. So you can definitely do that. Certainly, you can help with advocacy, right? If you hear something in your community that you think is not what it should be or not what it could be, let your elected officials know. We'd love for you to advocate on behalf of food insecurity in Larimer County. And then certainly monetary donations are always welcome. And again, at foodbanklarimer.org, all that is there for you to choose how you want to help.
Awesome. Can people donate actual food to the food bank, or is it more through the monetary donations?
Oh, absolutely. Sorry. Obvious way to help. We do. We welcome all types of food. Basically, you can go to the Want to Help section of our website, and there's more information there if you want to do a food drive. Certainly can do that. If you want to do something more simple, where you just want to, if you're going to a trip to the grocery store and just want to pick up a couple of extra things for us, we have 3 locations where people can drop off food. So full location details, hours of operation, that sort of thing can be found at our website.
Definitely. And obviously you accept any kind of food. Is there anything you can think of at the moment that you're particularly in need of?
Well, and that's a great point because we definitely want food safety is a huge thing for us. So we spend a lot of times, both staff and volunteers, going through to make sure that all the food that we receive is not out of date, et cetera. So food safety being a top priority. Again, at the website, you can definitely see any requirements that we have. But specific to your question, shelf-stable items are always welcome for us, only because we serve a very wide spectrum of folks. And some of our agency partners, they need shelf-stable items because they don't necessarily have the cooler and freezer space of some of the more fresh produce and proteins and that sort of thing. So if you're looking to help out, things like canned tuna, beans, the usual canned items, but also peanut butter. Things like that is often, overlooked, but that's kind of gold to some of our clients because it's not a luxury everybody gets to have. So we do, again, on our website have a list of the most wanted items, so you can go check that out and certainly visit any of our 3 locations.
That's perfect.
To make a donation.
Awesome. Well, I am so excited for Great Plates, but knowing the Food Bank of Larimer County, I'm sure you guys have so much planned for 2020. Can you give me a little preview of what's coming for the food bank this year?
Yeah, so we have, again, I kind of sound like a broken record here, but we always say it's one of our favorite events, but it is one of our favorite events. Right on the heels of Great Plates is something we call Corporate Food Fight. So this is something where we work with about 20, 30, 40 local businesses, corporations, you name it, who get together and sort of have a friendly competition on behalf of the food bank. And so this is anything from bake sales and that sort of thing, just to straight up donation drives, all the way to big wheel races and actual literal food fights. So it's a great opportunity for local businesses to get involved. Last year, I want to say it raised somewhere in the $160,000 range. It goes for the whole month of April. So again, it's a huge fundraiser for us. It's a great opportunity for local companies, local organizations to get together and to support the food bank. So that's the next one. I'm sure I'm missing some other things coming up, but on the other side of the summer, we'll definitely be talking about our taste event, which you and I have talked about before. So no shortages of things going on at the food bank.
Very exciting. Well, thank you so much for coming in again, Paul. It was great to have you, and I cannot wait to try out Great Plates.
Absolutely. Hope to see everybody at Great Plates.
Again, that was Paul Donnelly, the Communications Director at the Food Bank for Larimer County. To find more information about Great Plates, you can visit foodbanklarimer.org or greatplatesofdowntown.com.